little take of mine that you might consider a hot take is all the drama around Thomas Tuchel's England call-ups. I actually kind of like his call-up, apart from maybe one or two things. But overall, I think he's made a decent call-up.
I agree that there's a decent call-up with the exception of two players that I don't believe should be in the
That shouldn't be in there.
They shouldn't be in there.
Okay.
So that frees up space for two players he's potentially left out. Now,
and I'm going to guess your two players.
Instantly, go
Henderson and Turner.
100% Henderson and Turner.
Right, so the reason...
Do you know why I think those two? Well, my opinion on Henderson's always been the same. He's a fucking bang average player that somehow fibbed his way into Premier League.
I've agreed with that take for a while, but the thing is, you do need the steady heads in the team, and there in many steady heads in that midfield, and you need a steady head in that midfield. But he's barely going to play.
How many minutes is he going to get?
But he's not going to play. But that's the thing. So why would you waste it on a player that is inexperienced, that doesn't offer much for like team sort of camaraderie, sort of experience and stuff, when you can have him and he can be that steady head when he's barely going to play anywhere? And Ivan Toney, I get it, but there's also a case of if it goes to penalties, he's probably our best penalty taker. He's used to playing in super high climates.
That's the only thing I'll agree with.
So I don't even care about that. The thing I like about his call-up, is that he has built a team for Harry Kane. And I was in the fence about his team call-up before someone broke it down and I watched it. You can see he's tried to build a team that plays the similar style of football, or will play the similar style of football as Bayern Munich.
Yep.
And he's going to build that Bayern Munich style team around Harry Kane to maximise Harry Kane, so that hopefully he can do what he's been doing at Bayern Munich and maybe we can actually win the World Cup. You think of the wingers he's picked, it's very similar to the styles of Luis Diaz and Michael Olise. You think of the midfield of Pavlovic and Musiala and Kimmich. It's very similar to the midfielders we've got. The back line, if he plays a back three with wing backs, he's got the similar style of players to play off.
So this is what I was saying, like he's starting 11, or maybe he's got a couple of replacements here and there. That I don't disagree with that. I do disagree with the Henderson, because you can take him as a coach. He doesn't need to take a player's spot. He can still be in the dressing room.
I suppose maybe.
He could just be a coach, and then it frees up a spot for another player, because no one knows what that first 90 minutes could bring. You could get 3 injuries in first game, and they could all be in the midfield. And before you know it, you're having to chuck Henderson on the pitch, and he's not equipped to play a 90-minute game.
Another mini hot take maybe in the England squad is I think Bellingham's overrated and he shouldn't be starting.
I disagree with you. We had that discussion when we were on way to Portugal. I disagree. I still think he's
who starts?
Good enough
who does
to
he
be
start
in there.
before?
What do you mean start before?
So my midfield would be Rice, Anderson, and Rodgers. Bellingham don't displace.
This is where we disagree. I do not rate Rodgers.
I think you're an absolute clown.
This is where we disagree.
Rodgers.
This is my hot take. I don't rate Rodgers. Rodgers will be another Jack Grealish. He's had a good season. He's probably going to be salt in this window, this pre-season window. He may go on to have one more good season at whatever club takes him. If he then has a third good season, then fair play. I'll admit defeat and be like, okay, I was wrong about him.
But he's had two good seasons already.
I think if you actually have a look at his shot conversion ratio and everything, the amount of times he loses possession.
But he's not a striker. So what's his shot conversion rate?
Yeah, but even that's what I'm saying, that's one of the things, and he loses possession a lot. Yes, he'll take gambles that other players don't.
But that is why, though. He's a maverick. Like, he's the sort of player that
he's not.
Takes more... Of course he is.
He's not a maverick.
So you're saying to me that he's not the sort of player to try and beat 2 or 3 man?
I don't mind him attempting that every now and then, but what I'm saying is his success of actually doing that. The reason he looks good is because you might see a montage or in a 90-minute game. Every now and then, yes, he'll have a really good 90 minutes where he probably is the man of the match. I'm not saying he's not a good player. What I'm saying is that in the majority of games that he plays, I'd say he loses more than 50% of his attempts to take players on.
Completely agree. But then you look at other players that also had what you would call maybe an average dribble success rate. They're still the most creative players on your team. I don't like this thing of, because he loses the ball more so than other players. Like, who are you comparing him to? Because if you're comparing him to the rest of the Aston Villa team, none of the other players in the Aston Villa team tried to dribble past players anywhere near as much. So you're diluting the numbers of like what he attempts compared to what he attempts. So if he attempts 10 dribbles in a game and he only completes 3, but 2 of them or 1 of them provides a goal that wins the game.
I'd say Mainu probably is a better dribbler than...
No way. See, right. Morgan Rogers, for me, he's one of the most creative English players we've got. He's one of the best dribblers by far. He's one of the best strikers.
He's not better than Bellingham.
As a dribbler.
Oh, as a dribbler, yeah, but...
He's a much better dribbler. The only thing that Bellingham has over Rogers is his control over the ball and his strength. Rogers is faster. He's a better striker of the ball. He's a better crosser, better passer. He's a better dribbler. And in the position he plays, they're the most important factors. If you're going to say Bellingham should play as the 8, as a box-to-box midfielder, which suits Bellingham's style more, of being able to control the game, being able to hold off players and stuff like that, Elliot Anderson's been better for Tuchel and for Forest. And then you'll say, well, then maybe play him in defensive midfield. Declan Rice is better.
Rice, yeah.
So for me, position for position, wherever you're going to drop in midfield, we have a better player. And the thing is, Tuchel will use who's been better for him.
But I just disagree. I don't see Morgan Rogers what you see.
That's fair enough. But I don't know why you think Bellingham's better, because he had one decent season at Real Madrid where he scored quite a few goals, and then the fall off has been constant since then. Morgan Rogers has had 2.5 consistent seasons.
I still don't think that he'll be able to maintain
the only reason I like
his current level.
The only reason I like Bellingham has gone is he's used to playing under the pressure of Real Madrid.
And he's another one playing in Spain. Hot heat.
Yeah, that as well. But I mean, like, you need players that are used to pressure.
And this is what I was saying with Ivan Toney. You might say another hot take, but if you are not willing, but if you have gone to the Saudi league, you're playing in a lesser league. I don't care what anyone says, it's a lesser league. You're not playing the same intensity of football as you would in European football. And to then go to the World Cup and be given a spot in the World Cup when you've been playing lesser football, it's just not good enough. In my opinion, when you sign to go play in Saudi, I mean, it's fine for you to do that because you're earning fucking God knows what, and retirement is an old man, not an old man, but he's coming towards the end of his career. By all means.
I get that, but again, it's like Anderson. He's not going to really play, but what he offers is very different. The penalty
Other than the fact he's got more exposure to playing in heat,
he's the best penalty taker in the team. I don't think he should
be coming.
He's the best. He's almost a guaranteed goal for a penalty if we go to penalties. He subs him on just before. It's a guaranteed goal.
Yeah, but then we shouldn't be playing for penalties.
No, we shouldn't, but it happens.
Yeah.
Every team in the World Cup has to try and account for it. No matter if you're best team in the world or worst team in the world.
Not a good enough reason to give him a spot on team.
I think it is. Because there's 26 players. Not every player is going to play.
No, not every player is going to play. But this is what I'm saying. You can't guarantee which positions are going to find the injuries. This was my main argument with Henderson.
This could go on for a while.
You have 4 or 5 injuries in first few games for midfield. You then have to rely on Henderson.
This could go on for a while.